everyone, it's Matt again. We are back with our second episode of the Established Roots Group Expert Insight Series. We are continuing the conversation around mortgage with mortgage expert Jonathan Robert. This is actually part 2 of the interest rate question, and we dive a little bit deeper into interest rates versus payments and what is my payment going to be, and also just talk about the importance of working with a trusted advisor when it comes to your mortgage expert, somebody that knows how to navigate the different aspects of the real estate transaction. So I hope you enjoy it. Check it out.
So is there maybe a better way that we could phrase that question, or if somebody's coming like not necessarily what is my interest rate, but maybe what is my payment?
Or that's what you pay, right? I mean, That's your budget. That's the end of the end of the line, as it were. That's the final result. Again, a difficult question to ask. I think what's super important is as real estate agents that are often the first line of defense, as it were, for borrowers and buyers, you've got to get paired up with a lender that's going to give you the options. And the funny thing is, there's so many options. Granted, there's only a few loan types, and we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But there's so many permutations. You can finance mortgage insurance. You can pay it up front. All these things that equate to a payment.
Right.
So what's perhaps less important than the interest rate initially is, can you work with a lender you trust that's going to be up front, that's going to disclose the fees in such a way that you know what you're getting into, and then you work into the interest rate. And it's not a bad thing to shop. I mean, I get shopped. I'm often the second opinion. So you're completely within your rights to ask multiple lenders. But at the end of the day, if you can work with somebody that's got integrity, that can be honest and say, this is the cost of this product, and explain the ins and outs of it, you're going to get the answers you need. There's just not a simple or a quick answer to any of it.
Right.
So it's really more of the fact, having relationships with your realtors. You guys drive the boat. You guys control the transaction and the process, and being able to refer them to 1 or 3 or however many lenders that they can talk to and interview, and those lenders can just take them down the path to get them to the answer they need. But to call me and say, what's my interest rate? That's such a loaded question. It's hard to answer honestly, and it's hard to answer truthfully, but it's an important one. It's just part of several other questions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like when people, we'll have client or potential clients or customers call us and say, hey, how much is my house worth? Well, we haven't seen the house. There's a lot of variables that go into that.
A really good comparison.
So yes, it's important, but it's
how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms? It's kind of like your credit score and your down payment. I mean, it factors in, and it's a really good way to put it. And it's, again, working with professionals that know the market and knowing it's volatile. I mean, I have several people that are under contract or they're shopping that they know if things are going to shift or change, they get a phone call, and it's just really that relationship of, it's not a transaction that's just you do an application, you have a mortgage, I'm going to give you the money, you go buy a house. Right. It's a 45-day process sometimes. I mean, heck, we've had people that have been 6 or 8 months looking for houses in these markets, and it's just working with somebody that can keep your options open and talk about the pros and cons of paying points. And I mean, that's an entirely different conversation. Does it make sense to pay points? Does it make sense to do all this stuff? So like I said, just to kind of boil it down, interest rate's important, but probably not in the way people think.
Yeah, I like that.
The most important thing is what you can afford and how much you're paying.
Know your budget. I mean, interest rates are fun at a party, but when you write the check every month, you don't put the interest rate on there.
Right.
So again, I mean, it's a measurement. It's how the market's kind of dictated. It affects sales. I mean, rates go up, people stop buying houses. So I mean, there is an impact. But like I said, just talk to somebody that knows what they're doing, knows the business, and can steer you in the right direction. Because a really low interest rate on a product that is not a good fit. I mean, I can put you in a 15-year mortgage at a much lower rate, but your payment's twice as much, and it might not be their ideal if rate's all you care about. So it's working with a lender that can really get to know you and find out what's important, find out your budget, because just because you qualify for a mortgage doesn't mean you want to pay that.
Yeah.
And really getting to know what you need. Is it a short-term property? Like, are you buying a starter house? Are you going to flip it in 2 years? Are you going to retire in this house in 20 years? Are you going to do whatever? I mean, those all play into that conversation and help determine in the right product. Down payment. I mean, gosh, we could go on for an hour about the things that factor in. Yeah. So just have an open conversation and be upfront. I mean, that's the thing I tell all my clients. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent. It's like going to the doctor. We're going to find it. I mean, we do enough digging, it comes out.
And unfortunately, it comes out at the wrong time when we do find it most of the time.
Usually comes up a week before close. So all that's part of the process. And I know we kind of got off track there a bit. But yes, interest rate is super important. But like I said, probably not for the reasons you've been conditioned to think.
Yeah.